Hey, what's up, guys? This is Fast Daddy, and today I want to talk about donk betting. Donk betting is when you bet right out into the pre-flop raiser out of position after the flop has been dealt. So, I feel like a lot of people get this idea that when you're out of position after the flop has been dealt, you should check almost your whole range and end up check raising with either your big hands like you flopped a set or your big draws. But I think that donk betting is one of the best plays that you can make in poker. When you donk bet, a lot of people are going to think that you're just trying to steal the pot away from them, especially when the board comes mainly low cards because that board shouldn't hit them. Or they might just think that you have a big draw and you're just trying to shuffle all the money into the pot to make it easier for you to play. So this results in a lot of people wanting to re-raise you or play back at you or even make big bluffs against you, which is awesome because you want them to be trying to bluff you. So without further ado, I'm going to get into some of my favorite hands that I like to donk bet. The first type of hands that I like to donk bet are your good but marginal hands, like one pair, top pair, for example. The main reason I like to do this is just to find out where you're at. So you don't want to just feel like you're trapped in the dark because you have top pair and you don't know what your opponent has and you end up just calling down three streets. So you want to bet right out just to get a little bit more information about what your opponent has based on how they call or fold or whatever. And secondly, when you do this with a good hand like top pair, is that you could easily be called by worse. They might call you with a flush draw. They might call you with a draw or any of those types of hands, and then you end up getting value. So I like to definitely bet your good but marginal hands, mainly to find out where you're at. So if you need to, you can get away from your hand, but also for value. The second type of hand that I like to donk bet is my very good hands, like a flopped set or a flopped straight. And the reason I'll do this is because if they have a very good hand as well, like pocket aces, they're usually going to come over the top of you, and you can usually just get all the money in the middle. But also, they might even call your bet with a hand like ace high because you think you're stealing, and maybe they hit an ace on the turn, and you'll end up winning a big pot that way too. And then finally, if you're betting your big hands, you also want to donk bet with your draws as well as like a semi donk bluff. And what's nice about this is you get equity denial. They're going to fold their just big unpaired cards, which happen to be the best hand, but you would still have a lot of equity against. And if they raise your bet on the flop and you go all in, they might think you have a set as well because you would have played it the exact same way. So, you're mixing your range. And this helps you get action when you do have a very good hand, like a flopped set or whatever. And then lastly, you got outs, worst case scenario. So, you're never drawing dead, especially when you have a big draw. You might even be ahead if you have a straight flush draw or whatever against one pair. So here's my last example of a good hand that I occasionally like to donk bet. It's a hand like pocket fours on a board of deuce 3-6. And this is nice because you'll get equity denial for one if they fold their big cards, but also you can hit a 4 or a 5 on the turn, which usually gives you the best hand. And it just makes your hand very versatile to play. You can end up playing it as a bluff like you flopped a set, or you can play it more passively. And again, people might call you with ace high and you're just getting value because they think you're trying to steal the pot away. What's nice about donk betting is that it's very hard to play against for your opponents. For one, they're going to have to fold a lot of their big unpaired cards because you either have them beat or you have a big enough draw to end up beating their hand in equity anyway. And if they end up raising you just to find out where they're at, they're going to feel like they have to call your re-raise all in when you do have a flop set just as much when you have a big draw as well. So you're going to get action when you have big hands, 100%. And finally, if they end up playing small ball poker, their hand is just under-repped and they're going to feel that they have to call you down and they don't really know where they're at in the hand. Like with anything in poker, it comes down to trusting your gut and intuition to make the best play possible. But in conclusion, get to donk betting. It's one of the best plays you can make in poker, and it's going to leave your opponents completely blindsided to what you have and give you more information about what they have. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace!